The source that I talked to, she is a mature student and she has 2 kids. And she was telling me about her experiences after Ford's cuts to childcare centers.
I interviewed a bunch of people on their housing situations in Toronto for a piece I was writing. My story is about the psychological effects of climate change on individual people.
I was initially interviewing people who were struggling with accessing services that can help them with their mental well-being.
She's telling me that she's on 2 wait lists. As soon as her second child was born, she had to apply to childcare because the wait lists are so long, so she had to think so far in advance. After that, she had to apply to get financial aid. So if she wanted to afford the childcare for her child, she had to also wait to get subsidized as well. Once you're in it and once her child got a spot in the daycare, there were already limits and barriers in childcare as well, but there's also subsidies, so she couldn't fully afford the daycare. So you can get grants or you can get subsidized, but there's wait lists for the subsidies as well.
So for one of the people that I spoke to, she's been having kind of nightmares about climate change for the past, she said at least the past year, and the only way she can really keep them at bay is by getting super involved in the climate change movement and protests and things like that. But she had one really vivid dream where Andrew Scheer was in the dream, and basically she was playing truth or dare with him. It was very strange, and she asked everybody like around the table, do you actually care about climate change? That was her first question. And then her second one was a confession, basically saying that over the years she used to care so much about climate change and now she's kind of just suppressed it as a kind of coping mechanism, but she realized that she's super ashamed of that. So her dream, she was like psychoanalyzing it, and she thought to herself, I was basically confessing my own shortcomings in the climate change movement to Andrew Scheer, which he thought was very strange.
This one guy who thought he was getting kind of a bachelor pad attic. He signed for the place before he saw it, which I don't recommend. So when he gets there, he's thinking he's getting this beautiful kind of studio-like attic bachelor pad. When he gets there, he realizes he has to walk up 3 flights of stairs, not too bad, has 3 keys to eventually get to his place, has to share a bathroom with 5 other people, has mouse droppings in the place of his attic, and there's like a DIY kitchen in his room. He gets up to his room and he thought it was going to be a bachelor pad type thing, as I said, and it's the bare bed, which is fine of course, but then he sees what's supposed to be his kitchenette, and all it is like a new sink put into the wall right beside a mini fridge with a hot plate on it. So it's a makeshift kind of kitchen, but definitely not a kitchenette by any means. And then there's mouse droppings on the floor, and it's out of an attic bachelor pad that is what he expected. It's definitely not that.
His story starts off with him going in for an initial intake session, which wasn't what he initially wanted completely. He wanted to have like longer sessions, so he went in for the session and then he fought for a couple more sessions and got 4. So they allowed him to have 4 sessions in the span of 2 to 3 months. He had done this, and by the time they'd finished those sessions, he was like, okay, cool, what's my next step? Ryerson's Counseling Center told him that he was gonna have to wait 3 to 4 months, approximately around that time, because the wait list was really long. What ended up happening was when he called, he actually found out that for some reason, which the counseling service couldn't explain or didn't really know why, is that he was removed from the waiting list. What was interesting how he described it was not from his personal experience, but more of like, what would any other student feel in that situation? When you're put on a waiting list for so long, it can be really detrimental to your mental health, specifically when you're going to a counseling service to seek help for in improving your mental health.